I need to do more marketing, but I don't have time. How do you get around that? Should you hire somebody? Should you outsource? In this video, I'm going to share with you some thoughts on how you get the marketing done in your firm. Hi there, it's Mark Wickersham here, and I got this question for one of my students in the Value Pricing Academy just the other day. And her name's Kathy, and Kathy said, I need to do more marketing, but I don't have time. I would love to outsource it, but I don't know how to hire someone because I don't know all of what I need. It's like a catch-22. Plus, I don't want just a regular digital marketing agency. I would prefer my own offshore marketing employee. Any suggestions on how to get good people in that area, especially since I don't know how to judge their work performance? So, interesting question, and so I thought I'd share with you some thoughts on exactly that. And the first thing we need to do is avoid the big mistake that we tend to fall into when we hire people. Very often, if there's something that we don't like to do in our business, whether it's the marketing, whether it's the selling, we think, I'll just hire somebody. I don't like selling, I can't sell, I'm rubbish at selling, I'm going to hire a salesperson and all my problems will go away. Michael Gerber talks about this in the E-Myth Revisited. He calls it abdicating responsibility. There's a function in our business that we don't want to get involved in, we're too busy, we haven't got time, and so if we hire somebody, then that'll solve the problems. But what happens is we hire somebody, and what we find is that they don't get the results that we want. If they're people with knowledge, they're often very expensive and they don't get the results because they don't understand your business. Your business is different to everybody else's business. The way that you will win new clients in your business is different to other businesses. And so we shouldn't just abdicate responsibility and just hire. Unfortunately, what we have to do as a small business owner is we have to figure things out ourselves first. So before you think about hiring somebody to do marketing, you have to figure out, how do you win clients in your firm? What works for you? You have to learn marketing. There's no shortcut. It's one of the most important functions in any business. In fact, going back to Michael Gerber and his book, The E-Myth Revisited, he talks about every business has three functions. Every business has the sales and the marketing. They have to make the promise. Every business then has the operational. They have to deliver the promise. They have to do the work. And then thirdly, they have to manage the money. That's the finance, the admin systems. And a lot of businesses focus on the middle one, the operational stuff. We're accountants. We love accounting. So we think that if we do accounting better than anybody else, that will differentiate our business, that we will grow a successful business. But the reality is, anybody, with the right training of course, anybody can do a tax return. Anybody with the right training can do payroll, can do bookkeeping. That doesn't differentiate your firm. It's the marketing, it's the messages, it's the promise that you make. The marketing function is the most important function in any business, and we cannot neglect it. We have to put some real effort in. We have to figure it out. We have to learn it. So firstly, you have to learn. There's no shortcut. You have to learn marketing. What works for your practice? You need to try things and figure out what works, what doesn't work. Once you've then done that, number two is you have to create the marketing systems. Once you've figured out what works, systemize it. Whether that's systems for referrals. What are your referral systems? What are the systems you use when you go to networking events? What are the systems you use in social media? What systems do you have to automate the posts? What's your content marketing systems? You have to systemize the process. And then thirdly, you're then ready to hire. Once you've figured it out, once you've got the systems, then you can hire somebody and you can teach them the systems. This is really important. And then, of course, when it comes to the hiring process, one of the things I learned many years ago was I used to be rubbish at hiring. In my early years of my practice, I made so many hiring mistakes. And then someone shared this with me. When you hire, You should hire for attitude and not skills. And that is so profound. It makes such a big difference. The mistake we make is we hire somebody with the qualifications, the skills, we tell them to get on with it, and they mess up. And you know that because you've tried that. How many hiring mistakes have you made? I've made so many of them. It's going back to this abdicating responsibility. What we need to do is bring somebody in and teach them our systems, our process. And so we should focus on attitude, because when you have the right systems in place, you've figured out the systems, when you get someone with the right attitude, you can teach them the skills. Teaching the skills is the easy bit. You cannot teach attitude, but you can teach skills. So let me give you an example. I run a business that's over $1 million. There's 3 of us. It's myself. It's my partner, Sarah. We started the Value Pricing Academy back in 2014. And a few years back, we hired Sarah's daughter, Emily. Emily had just come out of university. Didn't have a job, as many people don't when they come out of university, so we gave her some work, really just to give her some work and some experience. It was part-time to start with for the first few months. What I discovered was that the attitude was incredible. She was so hard-working, common sense, and we thought, you know what? She was an English graduate. She's good at writing. Why don't we get Emily to do the marketing? Now, I love marketing. I'd been doing all the marketing. I'd figured out the marketing in my business. And then we had Emily come on board with amazing attitude, 0 experience with marketing, none whatsoever. As a graduate, fresh out of university, had done English, but with the right attitude. And so what I did is I taught the systems. I shared the systems of how we do social media posts, how we do content marketing, how we do YouTube videos. I then also gave resources so that Emily could do learning. She watched the same courses that I'd learned, the video training courses. Now she's my content marketing manager. She's a genius. She's helping accounting firms with their marketing. And it's all because of this process of hiring for attitude and teaching the skills. You have to figure it out first. As a business owner, you have to figure it out. There's no shortcut. So, the final point I want to go is right back to the start of this post, which was, I need to do the marketing, but I don't have the time. So the question I then have is, I've taught you the process of how you do it. You have to learn it yourself, systemize it, and then hire for attitude. But you have to find the time in the first place to do it. So what if you don't have the time? Well, I think there's a different issue here. If you want to grow your firm, if you want to do marketing but you don't have the time, there's something else going wrong in your firm first. It may be that you just have too many clients. And so you need to cull some of the clients. You need to get some time back. You need to create the resource so that you can learn the marketing and apply the marketing, test things out. One of the things that you could do is think about your pricing. Pricing is very often the underlying problem in most firms, and it's the one thing that can fix most problems. Most firms are too cheap. And so to make ends meet, we find ourselves working crazy hours to get through the chargeable work. We take on more clients because we think if we do more chargeable work, we'll eventually start to make ends meet. And perhaps we do. But in the process, we're killing ourselves by working crazy hard. And that's because we're too cheap. So start off by looking at your pricing. Always focus on pricing before marketing. There's no point in winning more clients if you're too cheap, because you're just creating a bigger problem. Get the pricing and the strategy sorted out first. Think of it this way. If you put your prices up across your entire firm by 20%, and let's say 1 in 5 clients leave, which my experience suggests is very unlikely, but let's say 1 in 5 leave. If you do the math, your fees right now, add on 20% price rise, then multiply by 0.8 because 20% leave, your fees are about the same. It's actually multiplied by 0.96. They drop a little bit. But the interesting thing is, your profits don't change. Your profits will be just the same as before. A little difference, but pretty much the same. However, you've got 80% of the clients before, which means that you can make the same money on 4 days a week and not 5 days a week. What could you do with that 5th day? What could you do with Fridays? You could spend Fridays learning the marketing and putting in place the marketing systems. Get the pricing right first, the strategy right, and then sort out the marketing. But you have to figure out the marketing yourself. You can't just delegate. You can't just outsource. You can't abdicate responsibility, because that is going to be a path to failure. I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, stick them in the questions below in the comments. Please feel free to share this video. Please like it with a thumbs up. Please feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching.